Spam is a type of preserved meat made of pork, ham, salt, water, starch, sugar, and the preservative sodium nitrate. Despite its recent popularity that's been inflating the prices of Spam, it's typically viewed as a cheaper meat, at least with its regular market value prices. But is Spam a good protein to have if you're trying to lose weight? For example, on keto. And how does it compare to other meats? Let's take a look at Spam to see if it's good for weight loss. Spam is a type of processed meat. Processed meats have been preserved by curing, salting, smoking, drying, or canning. It falls into the category of meats like bacon, ham, and sausages. These meats often have salt, chemical flavorings, and other preservatives like sodium nitrate added to it. Sometimes companies will add something called cultured celery extract to make it sound more natural, but it's basically the preservative sodium nitrate under a different label. So how does Spam compare to other processed meats? Well, not too great. Corned beef and bologna has less fat and sodium than Spam, as well as less calories per weight. They also have a higher amount of protein than Spam. Ham is even better, with even less fat and more protein. Sodium content is comparable, but still lower than Spam. However, bacon is a little different. With such a high fat and protein content, it has significantly more calories than Spam, as well as significantly more sodium than Spam. So if you really want to compare these processed meats for weight loss, ham would be one of your better options for processed meats, and Spam and bacon would be some of your worst. Switching to unprocessed meats will do away with all the salt and preservatives. So let's compare Spam to some freshly ground meats. Ground pork has a pretty comparable nutritional profile to Spam, owing to the fact that Spam is made of pork. Ground beef has less calories and fat, with slightly more protein. Ground turkey has even less calories and fat, with even more protein. The overall difference between Spam and the freshly ground meats is that there is way less sodium and more protein in the fresh meats. If you wanted to compare the unprocessed meats by themselves, ground turkey would be your best option for weight loss, followed by beef and pork. That being said, Spam is a viable option for you if you're doing keto or on a dietary plan that encourages animal protein. However, if you're following a diet that requires low sodium like the DASH diet, or if you have blood pressure issues, you may have to forego Spam. Regardless, you might still want to stay away from all processed meats in general. Research tells us that eating processed meat can increase your risk of cardiovascular disease, diabetes, and cancers. How much processed meat is too much? Well, research suggests that 150 grams per week is enough to increase your risk of cardiovascular disease by 46% and your risk of death by 51%. So that's less than half a can of Spam, or about 5 slices of ham, or 10 slices of bacon, or 2 thick sausages per week. So just because Spam is a viable option for a weight loss diet doesn't mean it's always a good idea to have. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. Do you have Spam on your weight loss diet? Let me know in the comments down below. Subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay up to date, and if you found it informative, please leave me a like and share this video with someone you know can use the info.